Hello and welcome to another antique or vintage mystery crochet pattern. I have a stack of patterns here that were put together for me by my son. He has all of the titles and pictures. We don't have any of those. And he has blacked out anything that could give away, to the best of his ability, that could give away what the pattern is. We have no context. We simply have the instructions and we see what it is afterward. These patterns come to us from the 1840s to the 1980s. So let's go ahead and pick our mystery pattern. Okay. Well, this one here looks like it's just loud and wanting to be worked. Number 10. Again, if you are seeing repeat numbers, we are just simply recycling the same numbers. Okay, so there's 11, 1, 12, 8, 14, and 10. 10 comes to us from 1849, and what is this? Oh, explanation of the various terms used in crochet from 1849. Now, in 1849, it didn't matter if this was a US or UK or Australian or Canadian publication. They all used the same UK terms. So it's good that he included the terms in crochet because this pattern is not the same. The terms will not be the same as modern US or even modern UK stitch terminology, although some of the stitch terms will be the same as modern UK. So that'll be very helpful. Oh, look, you guys. Van Dyke open crochet. Work 3 long stitches into one of the foundation, make 1 chain stitch, miss 3 of the foundation, repeat. In the next and following rows, the long stitches are worked into the chain stitch. A granny stitch. We've talked so much about Van Dyke stitch on this channel. We need to bring that name back because I think it's so fun. Instead of calling them granny square stitches, we should be calling them Van Dyke stitches. In my opinion, we can call them whatever we want, so I shouldn't say should. Okay, let's get right into this. It says here that we need Raworth's crochet thread number 24. Not a clue what that is. I'm going to try to look it up. And a Penelope crochet needle number 3. Again, not a clue what that is. When we go back this far in crochet, it's really hard to find the materials that were used then. It's a lot easier from around the Civil War era on up. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to try to look this material up. Okay, so there is 0 information on the internet about either of those items. So when in doubt, I'm just going to revert back to a number 10 crochet cotton and a number 7, a vintage number 7, which is equivalent to about a 1.65 millimeter hook. So that's what I will be using. And let's check out the instructions here. Oh, I'm going to need a sticky tab because this is just a wall of text. Okay, and this handy tool that was gifted to me by a viewer is going to come in handy. Where the yellow bar is the part I'm going to be reading, and I'm going to use the sticky tab just to differentiate between the rows as the rows are just all mingled into each other. So it says here, make a chain 12 inches long, first and second rows, single open crochet. So I can tell you what single open crochet is without even looking at what it is here. It is essentially filet crochet. If you're familiar with filet crochet, that's what single open crochet is. When they say single, that means only 1 chain between the double crochets instead of 2 chains between the double crochets. And we can confirm that by looking at the explanation of the stitches used. Single open, there it is, single open crochet. Insert the needle, no, that's single crochet, forgive me. Here we go, single open crochet. This is a succession of long stitches, long meaning modern US double crochet. Long stitches with a chain stitch between each, missing 1 stitch of the foundation. In the succeeding rows, the long stitch is worked between the 2, so into the chain 1 space of the preceding rows. Double open crochet consists of the 2 long stitches, then 2 chain stitches between. So that's the difference. The double is the chains, 2 chain stitches, and a single is 1. I had to clear my throat. Okay, so first and second row is single open crochet. Okay, first I have to start by chaining a 12-inch long chain. So I will go ahead and do that really quick and I will be right back. Okay, so exactly 100 chains is exactly 12 inches, and I'll show you that. There we go, 12 inches. So that is 100 chains. So since we are doing open single crochet, I'm gonna go ahead and chain an additional 4. That will count as my first double crochet, US double crochet plus chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I will skip 3, 1, 2, 3, plus 1 more, and into the 5th chain down, I will work my first, if I can get in it, work my first double crochet. There we go. Okay, so that is my double crochet plus chain 1, skip 1, and here we go. Now I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, and in the next stitch over, work a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and in the next stitch over, work a double crochet. So I'm going to work this all the way to the end, and then I will come back when I'm ready to start on row 2. There we go. I want that to be more even. That's all right. I'll be back. Corrected my own error here. I went back and I worked my first double crochet into the 6th chain from the hook, not the 5th. The 5th would have given me the chain 1, but it would not have given me the skip 1. So in the 6th chain from the hook, that gives you both your double crochet plus chain 1 and skip 1. So that's why it wasn't looking quite right on the end there. My mistake. Okay, now I will continue to do this to the end and I will be right back. Okay, so for row 2, I think what we're going to do is chain 4 for a double crochet plus chain 1, and then into the very first chain 1 space, go ahead and work at double crochet, and then chain 1, and then into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and work another into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, all the way to the end. And I went back and I looked at the instructions for the double open crochet. My description of it was a little bit off. It looks like for the double open crochet, which I don't know if we're going to do any in this pattern, you're going to work 2 double crochet next to each other plus chain 2 and then 2 more double crochet. So it will look something more like that. So I just wanted to correct that because I didn't want to be inaccurate about that. Okay, chain 1 space, double crochet. Okay, I will be back whenever I get down to the end. Let's see, here we go. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so row 2 is done. Let's look at row 3. And it says right here, close long stitch crochet. So I believe that means that we're going to work just 1 double crochet, US double crochet, into every stitch in every chain 1 space. Let's see if that is here. There's no close. Long stitch, twist the cotton around the needle, pass it through the loop, draw the cotton through the first 2 loops on the needle, then catch the cotton again, draw it through the next 2 loops. There will be only 1 loop left on the needle. So that is a double crochet. So close long stitch is going to be just 1 double crochet into every stitch and into every chain 1 space. So I will start with a chain 3, and into the next space I will work a double crochet, and into the top of the next double crochet, and into the next space. Okay, so I'm going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch, into every chain 1 space, all the way to the end. I will be right back. There we go. Okay, so there we go. That is row 3. So now row 4. Oh, I already have it placed. Double open crochet. So we are going to have to work double open crochet. So 2 long stitches, then 2 chain stitches. Or it may be varied by making 1 long stitch, 2 chain stitches. Okay, so I, in a sense, had it right the first time, but also didn't because I didn't include that portion. Missing the same number of stitches in the foundation as are on the foundation chain, or however that was worded. So I don't have a picture, so I don't know how this is supposed to look, whatever this is. So do we base it on how many stitches we have to work? Or do we base it on just like maker's choice? I don't know. Let's play around with the first portion of that double long stitch. Let's see what we think of that. So I will start with 2 double crochet right next, US double crochet right next to each other, then chain 2, skip 2, and 2 more double crochet. This should work out considering we have an even number of stitches here to work on. So I think either way, well, no, not either way, because if we had done it the other way, it would have been 3 in 3s. Okay, we'll just do it this way. Skip 2, work 2 double crochets. So, I mean, they're giving you the option to do either one, apparently, and the pattern isn't specifying. So let's try it this way. This might give us a little more of a fun look. I don't know. So this is what I'm going to do all the way to the end. 2 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochet next to each other. I'll be right back when I get down to the other end. Okay, so there is row 4 and row 5 and 6. Chain of 7. Chain of 7. Chain of 7. Now I can't pick on this pattern because there might be a picture that aids the pattern, much like how we have video tutorials that aid patterns these days. They probably had a really good this probably has a really good detailed photo that aids the pattern. So I can't beat up on this pattern. Chain of 7 isn't helpful to me when I don't have a picture. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chain of 7. Over and over again, I imagine we work a chain of 7, and that's going to be for 2 rows, which tells me one of those chains of 7 are going to be worked, not one of, but the second row of chains of 7 will be worked in here. The question is how many stitches do I skip? Well, less than 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 chains or 4 stitches or 5. Let's see here. 4, I have even number of stitches, so 4 would probably be best. So, or even 6. Now, do I work a slip stitch or I'll work a slip stitch? I don't know. It's not telling me what to do here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That chain of 7 would go there. 1, 2, 3. Well, it would have to be a slip stitch because that double crochet or single crochet, sorry, UK double crochet, US single crochet would add height to that chain of 7. So slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. But what if I skipped 6? How would 6 look? 6 could work as well. 6 might actually be the best way to go. I think I'm going to skip 6 or skip 5 and anchor down into the 6th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then into the 6th. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm gonna work this all the way to the end and see how well it works out. I think skipping 5 and anchoring down into the 6th is gonna be the best way to go. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, so that worked out really well by skipping 6. So now what I need to do is chain 3, 1, 2, 3. How am I gonna 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3 into the 4th. Would that? Okay. That might pull it in a little. I may need to do 6 total. So it would be 3 for the double crochet and then 3 for a chain 3 and then a slip stitch into the middle stitch because there's 7 stitches in the chain. And see, yeah, look, whenever you come back up, you would work into the 3rd chain up and that would square it off right there. So there's 7 stitches in the chain. So skip the first 3 into the 4th chain over, work your slip stitch, and then you have 3 chains left. So let's do 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, and then into the 4th chain. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and the 4th chain. All right, so I'm going to work this all the way to the end, and then I'll come back up. I'll come back on and join you guys for finishing this row up here. So I think that's going to work out okay. All right, I'll see you when I get down to the end. Okay, so I've worked my last chain and slip stitch, and I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then work a US double crochet into this top of this double crochet right here. And that works out. That looks all right. Okay, let's look at what's next. We have row 7, double open crochet. Okay, so we're going to work this row right here again. So we'll start with a chain 3, and I've got 3 chain stitches here. So into the first chain stitch, then chain 2, skip 2, so there's 2 chains, and then, oh, I worked slip stitches, didn't I? Darn. Well, I am currently regretting that. Work my 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Get closer for you. There we go. It looks a little messy. My goodness. 1, 2. Skip 2, 1, 2, and then in the next 2 work a double crochet into each, 1 and 2, chain 2, skip 2, so 1, 2. I'm happy to skip that slip stitch. Then work 2 double crochet, oh boy, kind of looking a little messy, but not too bad, not too bad. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work this out all the way to the end, and I will be back, and that is row 7. Okay, I'll see you then. Okay, so that's row 7 done. Now for row 8, 8th row, there we go, close long crochet. So a row of double crochet into every stitch and every chain space. Now I had to work 3 double crochet here on the end. I had 1 extra stitch to work into. Okay, 2, 3. I mean, my stitch count's probably off. I mean, I've got a little dent here. I feel like I missed a stitch here or something. I'm not sure, but I got a little dent going here. But it's all right. I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, and these are chain 2 spaces, so boy, my finger's already getting sore. I tried using one of these thimble pads and I couldn't really feel what I was doing. It took too much of the dexterity away, so I may break the rules just a little bit and work around the chains instead of in the chains because my finger is so sore already. That last pattern really hurt my finger, and now this one, I need a pattern that requires a nice thick yarn and a nice thick needle or hook. Okay, so I'm gonna work this all the way to the end, and I will be right back. Okay, so I worked all of my, well, I didn't work them all the way across. I noticed that it was looking a little like there were just too many stitches. So I undid my work, I counted everything, and I would have had 35 extra stitches. So what I'm doing now is 1 double crochet, and I decreased 1 stitch here on the end to keep my stitch count even. So what I'm doing now is I'm working 1 double crochet into each double crochet and just 1 double crochet into the chain 2 space. And that is going to give me the right stitch count that I need. Okay, so now I'm going to work this all the way to the end and I will be right back. Okay, so there we have row 8. And the stitch count looks really good. So let's move on to row 9. Oh, row 9 and 10. And it says open crochet. It isn't specifying single or double, it just says open crochet. Which is, well, what should I do? It specifically calls for single or double. So what do they mean by open crochet for 2 rows? Maybe they're just shortening up a single. You know, like to save text. Maybe they're just shortening up single open crochet. Do they mention single open crochet again? Double, so they mentioned double another time here, and then that's, oh wait, and here, and then they mentioned open crochet here. So maybe what they mean by open crochet, since they've already established that they want single open crochet, is that it's single open crochet. Okay, so I need to chain 4, 2, 3, 4, skip 1, and work a double crochet. Just chain 1, not 2, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Okay, so I'm going to work this all the way to the end for rows 9 and 10. So I will be back whenever I have basically repeated this down here, rows 1 and 2. So I will be right back. Okay, so there we have rows 9 and 10. Now for row 11. 11. Okay, so it says 5 long, and a long is a US double crochet. 5 long, 3 chain, 3 long, 5 chain. So 5, 3, 3, 5. Repeat. Okay. So we'll start with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and work 4 more of those in a row. Right? 5 long? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I skipped a whole stitch. Didn't I? No. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That makes 5. Then 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm assuming I'm going to skip 3 stitches. Or does it want me to make like little loops? I think I skipped 3 stitches. Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, right? I'm gonna guess. And then 3 long. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then it says to make 5 chains, so I'm guessing I skipped 5 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the 6th stitch. And then repeat. So 5 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then 3 chains. Skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and 3 long. 1, 2, and 3, and then just keep repeating that to the end. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, so I finished this row and I wound up with too many stitches. So I imagine that if this pattern has a picture, which I think it does, I think I know what book this came out of. I imagine the photo probably helped you realize just how many stitches you needed to, you know, at that 12-inch mark. So I decreased 1 stitch here. I have 2 stitches too many. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that looks like 7, but that's decreased down to 1. So now whenever I work back this way, because I already looked at the pattern and they're going to have us work some double crochet in a row again, I'm going to decrease 1 more stitch on this side. This will cause a bit of a misshapening, but it's the price I have to pay because as I looked at the pattern a bit, these stitch counts need to be a little more precise than they are right now. So I had 2 stitches too many. So I would say if you want to follow along with this, start with you'll need 98 stitches across, basically. Okay, so the next row over, row 12, we are going to start with 3 double crochet. So 3 long, 5 chain, 5 long, 3 chain. So the opposite of how we did the 11th row. Okay. So I'm going to chain 3 and work. That's 1, I'm going to decrease these 2 stitches here, 2, and then 3. Now I know this is going to cause my edge to be out of shape a bit. It's just the way I have to deal with it. It's okay. So 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I assume I need to skip 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to have to work through the chains. I should have made these chains looser. Oh boy. Ouch. I got a tender fingertip right there. 1. Boy. I may have to break the rules on this one a little bit too. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 3 long, 5 chain. 5 long, 1, 2, 3. 4 and 5. That seems off. Because if it's a pattern repeat, we did this before, not this exact pattern, but we made a cuff before that was trying to describe a shape, some type of shape. And I screwed it all up. And I don't want to do that this time. It almost seems like this is supposed to be over by 1 more. Like my stitch count is just so unbelievably off because they don't give you any stitch counts. They just told us to work up to 12 inches. I'm going to have to skip 6 stitches this time. Hopefully it'll work out the rest of the way. Hopefully that doesn't buckle. And 1. I just know that that's wrong. I just know it is. And that's from my experience. I don't remember which mystery pattern it was, but it's on my channel. One of the mystery patterns I worked. And when we looked at the photo, it was trying to describe an almost filet crochet design. And I didn't follow it right. I got my stitch count wrong. Likely because they didn't give me a stitch count. I don't remember exactly. But I feel like it's not all supposed to be shifting this way. I know these patterns from back then. I've gotten very familiar and intimate with them. Okay, so then 5 long, 3 chain, 1, 2, 3. 3 chain, repeat, 3 long. Okay. See, the stitch count is a real mess, and I may have screwed it up on this row down here because now I feel like I need to skip 4 stitches and work 3 in the middle. 1, 2, and 3, which means, you know, it's not buckling. So I'm just going to keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll make my chains a little looser. That might help. Because the stitch count it's an absolute mess. But I have a feeling that once we establish these starter rows of this sort of pattern, it's kind of describing, then it will all fall into place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to skip 6 again and jump straight over to the very last chain made. and start there, working the 5 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, ouch. Doggone it. And then you didn't stay. I had to do it again. Okay. Looser chain will help. All right. Then chain 3 and skip 4. You know, let me chain that a little looser. I'm so used to working tight when working with thread. And then these of the 5, the center 3. That's what I think it's trying to do. I do. I just, based on designs from this era, now the cuff I made before was also from either the 1840s or the 1850s. I need to try to find, if I remember, I'm going to try to find that mystery pattern, and I'll link it down below, and you'll see what I mean by this is very familiar, and I remember the mistakes I made in that one, and I think I'm doing okay correcting those mistakes in this one, or not making the same mistakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looser, much looser, and then into the last chain. Yeah, that was easy. 1. Okay, so I'm going to continue to work this all the way to the end, and we'll see how the next row pans out. But I did have a scan at the pattern because I wanted to know, well, I mean, we're talking about row 23, and so what do I got going here? And it looks like, from what I've seen in the pattern, it looks like it's describing some kind of a design, like a picture. Because the next row, it's going to be more of the same. And then down here, it says repeat the above in reversed order, except the 25th row. So we're going to go over all of this, but it looks like we're going to work up and then repeat everything we did in the opposite form. So we'll see how that works out. But I think that this is the right way to do this right now. You know, they don't give stitch counts. It is what it is. So I'm making it work. And I'll be back whenever I get to the other end here. Okay, worked my way over to the end. So now for row 13, we're going to work 1 long, 5 chain, 7 long, 3 chain, 1 long, repeat. And then on to the 14th row. Okay, so 1 long, that's 1, 2, 3, and then 5 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 long. So we have 5 now, so I need to just add 1 to the beginning and the end of this row here, of this section. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm trying to avoid poking my finger. Okay, 7, and then 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. 1 long, so right in the middle. See, I'm telling you, it's working out. So it would have wound up being a massive fail because it all would have been going in that direction. And that is exactly what I dealt with in a previous mystery pattern. Let's see here. 1 long, repeat. So repeat was 5 chain, even though we have 3 here. Okay. 3, 5, and then 7 long, 1, 2, there's 6, and then 7, and then 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and 1 long. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this to the end. That chain there is a little too loose. That's okay. All right, something is happening here. I feel pretty good about that. I'll be right back. Okay, so there we go. That's row 13. And row 14. 3 long, 5 chain, 5 long, 3 chain. Okay. 3 long, 5 chain, 5 long, 3 chain. All right, 1, 2, 3, and into the chains. 1 and 2. Okay, 3 long, 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it was 5 long followed by 3 chains. Let me get my thread here. Okay, so I'm going to skip the first and the last stitch, and that'll give me my 5 long. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 3 long, 5 chain, 5 long, 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, 5 long, 3. So the first chain and the last chain along with the double crochet. All right, so this will be the repeat to the end of this row. I'm going to continue to work this to the end, and I will be right back. Okay, so that's the end of row 14. A real picture is starting to take shape. This is definitely going to need to be blocked to really open the shape up because you really can't even see this section down here. So I'm going to give myself some homework. It says here for the 15th row, we're going to work 5 long, 5 chain, 3 long, 3 chain, repeat. Then for 16th and 17th rows, we're going to do the chain of 7 just like down here in this section right here with the chains. So I'm going to go ahead and do all 3 of those rows off camera, but I will start the next row with you. So that was 5 long, 5 chain, 3 long, 3 chain. Pretty easy to remember. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Nope. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 5 chain, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 long, so skip the first double crochet and the last double crochet, 1, 2, and 3, 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, and then 5 long. So the first chain and the last chain plus the 3 double crochet in the middle. So, and then followed with 3 chain, 3 long, right? That's a little, That did say 5 chain, right? 5 long, 5 chain, 3 long, 3 chain. Wow. That chain is a little long. Let's see. Yeah, that's too long. I kind of wonder if it isn't a typo. Yeah, that seems more correct. Now I'll do 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just definitely wonder if this wasn't a little bit of an oversight, because this makes way more sense. See what I mean? It just makes way more sense this way. So I think that was an error that we caught. And you can see how this is curving. If I move my fingers, yeah, you can see how this is curving, and working 5 chains right here would have made no sense. None whatsoever. Because it looks like we have 3 chains, 5 chains, 3 chains, 5 chains. So it only makes sense to keep that going. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the next row, I'm going to work the 2 rows of the 7 chains. Okay, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now 3 chain. Yeah, 3 chain. 1, 2, 3, and 3 long. So it almost seems like they should have said 5 chain, 5 long, but you had to start with the 5 long. This chain here, I made too loose. It keeps catching my eye. It bothers me. Hopefully, whenever I block this, it'll stretch that out. Now, 5 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 long. Okay, so I will be back whenever I am all done with row 15 and 16 and 17. I will come back whenever we are ready to do rows 18 and 19 for double open crochet. We'll start that together. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so all done with, there's the 2 rows of the 7 chains. So now that's all done. So rows 15, 16, and 17 are done. Now rows 18 and 19, double open crochet. So that's going to be what we did here, here. So 2 rows of double open crochet. These rows here with the 2 double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochet. There we go. Okay, then chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and then 2 double crochet. Make sure that I'm skipping, yeah. One, and then, oh man, there we go. Oh, that wasn't even in the right stitch. I didn't get in the right stitch again. My fingertip hurts so bad. There we go. Working in these tiny chains. Ugh. 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and then work 2 double crochet. Okay. Regretting my choice to use thread. I think the next pattern I pick, no matter what it asks for, I'm going to use a thicker hook and a thicker thread just to give my fingertip a break. Okay, so I'm going to work this all the way across and then jump up and work it all the way across again. So 2 rows of the double open crochet. I will be right back. Okay, so that was the end of row 19 there. So for row 20, we're going to work 1 long, 2 chain. So the A in the parentheses is like an asterisk. This is where they want you to start your repeat. So we're going to start with 1 long and then 2 chain. And the repeat will go 13 long, 5 chain, 3 long, 5 chain, repeat from the A. Probably A for asterisk. I'm just kidding. Okay, and it's losing its shape. This pattern, I'm struggling to keep the stitch count right. Like the stitch count just doesn't want to stay right. So I'm just going to go with it. I think it'll be okay. We'll make it work. All right. So 1 long and then 2 chains. Okay. Then the repeat of 13 long, 5 chain. I'll do that off camera, but I'll start it. Oh, it doesn't say to skip anything. I'm gonna skip the chains, these 2 chains. I'm gonna skip the chains. No. Okay. I don't know. I think this pattern needs a picture. I think it needs the picture if it has one. I'm certain it has one. Because whenever I made a cuff like this, it had a picture, and the picture was very detailed. And the picture, you could almost make the pattern straight from the picture. And at this point, it is just becoming such a struggle. This isn't, I'm certain this isn't right the way it's starting to bow out like this. At this point, I'm half tempted to just get the picture and just make this thing. Like, I feel like this needs a picture. I don't know. Because if we're going to make an image like this, but up here, which is the way this pattern reads out, that's what it seems like it's going to do. 1 long, 3 chains, and then 11. And it just keeps going like that. So I think we're creating another picture, another design. Would it be okay if I said, okay, we got this far, let's look at the picture so that we don't mess it up, because I genuinely want to make this right? Would that be okay? Or would that be breaking the rules too much? Okay. So we have our 1 long, 2 chain. I don't know. Skip 2. So starting in this chain, then I'm just going to say skip 2. It doesn't say to skip 2. I really think that this requires a picture. Okay, 11 long. I'll be right back. I'm going to work 11 double crochet. Okay, 11 long. No, 13. I was basing it off the other row. I read 13. Okay, 11. I'm giving my finger a break. 12 and 13. Okay, 5 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 long. I don't know how many I'm supposed to, I guess skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and then 5 chain 13 long. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So into the 6th. Okay, I'm going to work 13 double crochet across. So that's my repeat. I hope I'm getting it right. I don't like the way this is happening. Oh, I feel like I'm messing this up. All right, so this is just turning out to be an absolute mess. Without a stitch count, this is not easy to do. And I just have this sneaking suspicion that the picture is really helpful. And I'm getting really frustrated with this, and I don't want to make it anymore. I just don't. I'm no longer having fun with it. It's an absolute mess. So I'll be right back. I am going to go and get the picture. I'm certain there's a picture with it. We've worked out of this book before. There is usually pictures with these. I'll be right back. Okay, so I was getting close, and here it is. This is a really great pattern he picked out. Bread tray cloth. That's really, really interesting. And yes, you can see that it is essentially giving you like stitch counts. And I feel like mostly I got it right. Where did I go? I mean, I went wrong here. I went wrong in this section here. And see here, row 1 and 2. Then there is the close long crochet row, and yeah, look at that, the double 2 double crochet, chain 2 double crochet, so that was a good one to pick. Then there's this section. Now this one worked out good. Even looking at the edges, it looks right. How did I get this one so wrong? Okay, we have our solid row. Then we have our 2 open crochet rows, and then we have a solid row. No, I missed a solid row. Open, open, solid, double open, 7 chain, double open, solid, open, open, solid. Open, open, no solid. Okay, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, row 10. 9th and 10th rows, open crochet. Yes, 9, 10. Okay, 11th row. 11th row should be close long row. 11th row starts with 5 long, 3 chain. 11th row, 5 long, 3 chain, 3 long, 5 chain. It didn't even call for the open, or yeah, for the closed crochet row, the closed long row. Didn't call for it. So I messed up here. Somehow here is where it's beginning to balloon out, and look at that. What is this? What is that? This isn't right. Okay, the chain 1, or the 1 long plus 2. And then, let me get my little pointer here. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then probably chain 5, skip 5, work 2. So that's not at all what we got for our first row here. See, that was row 20, 1 long, chain 2, 13 long, 5 chain, 3 long, 5. Okay, then 21st row, 1 long, 3 chain, 11 long, 5 chain, 5 long, 5 chain. Repeat from, okay, then the 22nd row, 1 long, 4 chain, 9 long 5 chains, 7 long 5. So it doesn't match the photo, but at the same time, it does match the photo. Well, it's just a mess. And I did my best, but it's breaking my brain. And my fingertip is so sore. I'm going to have to give it a rest. I can't do any more thread work for a couple of days. It's really sore. So this was a fail on without a proper stitch count. This just did not work out for me. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video. I will redeem this pattern. I've already started, but it's a lot for one video. So stay tuned for part 2. Look for that in a couple of days. Although I should be good enough to make it work. And also, the pattern isn't written. I think the pattern isn't written quite right. The photo looks right. The drawing looks right. The words do not match the drawing 100%. But I still think I could have made this regardless of what was wrote down just by looking at the pattern, just by looking at the picture. So that's actually pretty cool. But I'm going to call it on this one because it's breaking me. So let me know what you think. Of course, I always am curious what you think. And I will see you guys in the next mystery video. And like I said before, regardless of what the pattern asks for, I'm just going to use a thicker thread and a thicker hook because I need to give this finger a break. So I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you're not disappointed. Bye.